Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, it's Jason again. And today I'm going to bring you a video on a few interesting concepts about photography. So what I did today is I took my M50 and a couple of lenses, the kit lens, which is the 15 to 45mm kit lens, the Pancake Canon EFM lens, the lovable 22mm f2 lens. I've also took the wonderful Sigma 16mm f1.4 and finally a EFS telephoto lens 55 to 250mm. Took it out just outside my office and took a couple of shots. But today I just want to focus on two main things, which is the focal point, which is how wide or how narrow the lens would look like, and also the aperture. Aperture meaning how big or how small the hole that allows light to come into the camera sensor. I'm just going to run through a couple of photos. The first photo I took that you will see on the screen right now is just a nice landscape photo of the fountain right beside my office, a few buildings, and some service apartments and offices at the back. The first photo was taken by the kit lens, and this is set up at focal length of 15mm and aperture f4. Lovely photo, you got a clear blue skies. Now, and then the next photo is using the Sigma 16. The Sigma 16 can go all the way down to f1.4, but that would be overexposed. So in this picture, it is on aperture f3. As you can see, the focal length compared to the 15mm is not much difference, but the picture is well lit up. Now, when I increase the aperture to f4, it's more of a balanced picture, right? I'm still at the Sigma 16. And then I took out the Sigma 16 and I put on the EFM 22mm lens. On this lens, it's not as wide as before, as you can compare. It's a little bit cropped in because there's an additional 8mm. 16 plus 8 is 22. Yes, correct. And if I were to increase the aperture from 3 to 4, but there's not much of a difference. Because there are some difference in terms of the shutter speed, the exposure time. Yeah, so it kind of balances out in terms of the capturing of the light. Then I put on the EFS 55mm to 250mm. It starts at aperture f4. Now you can see very clearly on the screen that the picture has been cropped in a little bit more. You don't see the beautiful water, but you get to see the building, right? So this is zooming in to a focal length of 100mm. And if I continue to zoom in, this is at 200mm, and finally at its maximum focal length of 250mm, right? You can see that this office is running Exxon air conditioners. 55mm versus the 250mm is the Sime Darby property logo. This is at 55mm, and if zoomed in at 250mm, you can see the logo very clearly and the dirt on the building. What about the zoom range of the kit lens, right? The kit lens can also be zoomed in. So if I were to bring the focal length higher up to a focal length of 28mm, this is how it looks like. This is something similar to the 22mm Pancake lens, right? But a little bit more zoomed in. And zooming in further, the kit lens can go up to 45mm. So this is the image quality. Now I just want to show you guys the differences of the focal length. The higher the focal length in terms of millimeters, the more zoomed in or the more cropped in you are. Actually, the term is the more zoomed in you are, the narrower the picture becomes, right? So this is what focal length does for your pictures and your videos. A side note, I'm also shooting this video with my new Yongnuo LED There's an LED light running, daylight and warm light LEDs together in conjunction with my fill light on the right. So I just want to do a quick test on the lighting. Now, if I were to turn off my fill light, like so, yeah, so this is the only light that is coming into this video, which is the Yongnuo LED light on the top. The Yongnuo LED light comes with a wonderful remote control over here, which you can turn on and you can configure the brightness of the light. So I'm now blasting the light at 100. Of course, it's now overexposed, so I have to drop it back to where I used to be, which was 5. And that was the daylight. And now if I blast the warm light all the way up to 100, and this is how it looks like at 100. And let me put it back down to 5. Now the beauty of this Yongnuo light is it does not only have daylight and warm light, but at a press of a button I can convert this to RGB. So right now I'm at from purple to blue to green and yellow and all the other colors that is blasting from the LED light into my face right now. So obviously it's too bright, which I have to reduce the intensity. Okay, so let me get it back to where it used to be. Yeah, so that is just the light test, a new gadget that I've connected on top of my camera via the cold shoe connector. So let me turn the lights back on. Just a quick summary. The focal length will determine how narrow your view is in the picture or the video, right? Sigma 16 would give a super wide angle, as well as the kit lens when you set at 15mm, super wide angle. Pancake lens at 22. When we use the 55mm EFS lens, of course it's zoomed in even more. And when you go to 250mm, it is super narrow. There are many videos out there explaining the camera triangle, where you talk about the focal length, the ISO, as well as the shutter speed, right? So this video just helps you to see the differences between the focal length and maybe a little bit on the aperture. So thank you for watching. Have a good day.